Hey guys, so welcome to Get Psyched. I have not made a video in a hot second and it is 10:19 at night right now, so I'm looking a little bit rough. Also, I'm wearing a Wake Forest shirt. I'm not even applying to Wake Forest. I just thought this shirt was cute. So yeah, I'm still in high school. I do not go to Wake Forest. Great school though. But anyway, I figured I would break down some AP Psych FRQs for you guys today because as it is kind of, well, it's not even close to the AP exams yet. You can never be too prepared, but it is approaching probably the time where you're going to be testing in your classes, just your regular AP Psych classes. So I think it's a great thing to just kind of start out with. These are the actual FRQs that I had in my exam. I took the AP exam last May. Yeah, May. And I got a 5 on it. So I feel pretty confident talking about this with you guys and breaking them down. And the great thing about AP is you answer them directly. Like the question, you just have to tell them what they want and not like any of that fluff around it, which is something I really struggled with cutting out because I'm used to having a like topic sentence, closing sentence, restating the question. No, with AP Psych, it's just they ask for this, you give them this and nothing more because they're going to stop reading your response once they see the answer. So I'm going to kind of talk about how you can really like narrow it down to what you want to say to help your reader and to also make sure your thoughts are communicated like effectively. Yeah, let's just get right into it. It's always good, like if you just have never seen FRQ before, let's just go through the directions. 50 minutes to answer both of the questions. And honestly, that felt like I didn't feel like I had any extra time, but I also didn't feel like I was super rushed. It depends on the FRQ too. So you have to answer both of these questions so in the 50 minutes. And as I said, it's not enough to answer the question by merely listing facts. You should prevent a good argument based on your critical analysis, all that. So basically, you need to really answer the question rather than just stating the definition of something. And I know you could do that if you get like panicked, like down here it says the spotlight effect, for example, and maybe you don't know how the spotlight effect relates to the prompt. So you just put a definition and that you don't do that. Like that's not right. Always, it's better to try to guess how it relates rather than just give a simple definition because they're going to see that and not care about it and they're not going to give you the marks for that. And also, yeah, use the proper psychological terminology, plan your answers, and you'll have that little booklet too. And yeah, you do only earn credit for what you write in that booklet. So if you write like any notes here, jot anything, annotate anything, which I would recommend, but don't get too hung up on it, then that won't be scored or it will not help or hurt you, I guess. So, part A. Jordan recently moved to a new school for her senior year of high school. She has been adjusting to her new environment. So, explain how each of the following relates to Jordan's adjustments to her new school. So, basically, we just think of it this way. You have a person, they're coming to a new school. So, how would all these three things relate to them being in school, at a new school? So, I'm going to talk about what I did because I feel like a lot of people probably did it this way because it's the most common way for a lot of things, although there are different things you can talk about with like the spotlight effect and cognitive maps. So, explaining how each of the following relates to Jordan's adjustment to her new school. So, the spotlight effect, let's start with that. The spotlight effect is when you think that everyone is focused in on you. You think that, for example, how I think of it is if you had a big pimple on your head, you're really scared because you're like, oh my God, everyone's looking at my pimple. When in reality, a lot of people probably aren't even really paying attention. So we tend to think that everyone's going to be looking at us. And when she's coming to this new school, she's going to think, okay, I'm the new person. Everyone's going to pay attention to me. Like everything that I do, they're going to be watching and it's just really stressful. So if I were to see this, I would kind of address it in that way and say, Jordan's going to feel like everyone's watching her because she's at that new school. And because of the spotlight effect, we tend to think that there's a spotlight on us and people are watching us and watching our every move and all of our imperfections, when in reality, people really don't care that much. And that's just the truth of it. So with that, I would literally just state exactly what I said, something like that, just saying the spotlight effect affects Jordan's adjustment to her new school because she's going to tend to think that people are paying more attention to her than she actually is, which could lead to her being more stressed out about joining the new school. It could lead to her thinking that people are watching her every move, something like of that sort. But you do not need to go into this huge paragraph explanation. And honestly, I probably did, but did I need to? No. It's great to know what these things are in psych, but psych is also about applying these things. And that's the same with any FRQ, honestly. You have to be able to apply these concepts to different situations rather than just be able to cite them. Okay, so next is cognitive maps. I love cognitive maps. I think they're so cool, but that's just because I really like neuroscience. But a cognitive map is basically a layout that your brain makes, like, without you really knowing, like, kind of it's an unconscious process, if you will. So a good example would be when you drive to school. When you drive to school, over time, so probably your first time driving to school, maybe you need a GPS, but over time, your brain's going to start making that map in your head, and then you won't need that GPS anymore because you've done the route so many times. So it's kind of making a map in your head, but you're not necessarily trying to make that map in your head. So when Jordan is adjusting to her new school, at first it's going to be really hard for her to get around to classes. She might have to use a map. She might have to have like a guide or like a friend bring her. But as she is adjusting to her new school, she's going to start to build those cognitive maps and those neural connections in her brain that are going to help her be able to guide her to different classes and to navigate herself throughout the school. So that's exactly what you'd say there. You just say that over time, Jordan's going to develop these cognitive maps that can help her find where classrooms are or just her way around. And since she's in a new school too, even just maybe she's in a new town too, you could talk about that, but I would just stick with the school stuff if you know enough about that. So kind of just addressing it in 1 or 2 sentences is perfectly acceptable in this case to get those marks. Okay, so next we have Jordan's low level of the Big 5 trait extroversion. So the Big 5 traits, they come in like the personality unit, and I don't want to say which unit that is because I don't want to be wrong and give misinformation. But it is definitely not one of the first few, is it? No, I don't know. I don't want to give you guys the wrong info. But extroversion, this one, I was so happy they gave this Big 5 trait because the other ones could be a little bit more hard to elaborate on. But this one's pretty easy. Like, we all know what an extrovert is. And if you don't, it's just someone who's like very outgoing. So Jordan has a low level of extroversion, meaning she's more of an introvert. So first of all, you could say that. You could say she's more introverted. But she's going to be less likely to branch out and to want to seek new things and seek new friends, seek new clubs, get involved in school like activities that can help her feel more at home. So that's what I talk about. It's going to affect her adjustment to school because she's less likely to, meet new friends and gain that sense of home and belonging that she really wants. This is editing Jillian looking rough because it is like 11 p.m. now, but I just want to say I decided to just show part A of that FRQ because the video was already getting super long, and I know if you're like me, I cannot sit through a 20-minute video of just information. So I figured if people really want like another part to this or want to learn more about the second part of the FRQ, it is online. Like, these are available by College Board now, so you can like discuss them and like look at the answers and all that stuff. So that is there if anyone needs it, and I will link it down below too. But yeah, I think this was a great way to kind of give a little intro to it and how you should answer the FRQs. And obviously every FRQ is different, but how you answer them is the same. There's just going to be different concepts that are used. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and for more psychology concepts or more psychology reviews, please comment down below or subscribe. And yeah, bye.